Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on this Saturday afternoon? Welcome once again to the one and the only. This is, yes sir, as the smoke comes, the big time show in the building. What's up? What's going on, everybody? On this Saturday, I hope that you come in. Hope that you hit the like button. Hope that you hit that share button. Hope you get a little enthused about, as many people are. You always can tell people are excited about anything by the more they talk about it. And beyond the shadow of doubt, as always, Cowboys are on the minds of everybody. ESPN, Fox, Sesame Street, the Electric Company, WWE, whatever you want to do. The Cowboys are on everybody's mind because that's all everybody want to talk about is Dallas Cowboys. What the Cowboys gonna do? What haven't they done? What are they thinking about doing? What are they talking about? What are they doing? It's a never-ending soap opera, as most of you already know. The Cowboys are always the topic of conversation. We are in the building. We're going to talk just for a little bit about things that you've already have talked about. We're going to talk about things that you've already talked about, but of course it's coming from my view, and I tend to be one that tells it pretty much like it is. So hopefully we'll get to see exactly what we're talking about. I want to say hello to Instagram, who's back with us finally. Instagram is with us. What's going on to all of you that may be on Instagram? It's been a while, but I'm here. I'm trying to make sure that I stay with you this time. We'll just see what's going on. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's there at Lou Brooks 20. Lou Brooks 20. Lou Brooks 20. I want to say hello to those that may be on Twitter or X, whichever one you want to call it. I'm there live as we speak. I want to say a special shout out to all of my brothers and sisters in the content creator world with Dallas Cowboys who've just been flooding the airwaves with content, entertainment, whatever you want to call it. They've done it. The names are endless, especially those that, of course, that are in the DC universe. They have just lit it up. Y'all forgive me there if there's something going on real quick with my equipment. I had to make sure that's right. All right. Let me speak to the ones that have spoken to me so far. Joe, what's up? Kid Cowboy in the house. What's going on? Oh, see there? That's why they burned out. Joe said Joe said y'all been watching. He's been watching people for 6 hours. So guess what? Y'all been on for 6 hours. You're tired. You don't want to have no time for a big time today. But we're here. This is my regular time, so I'm just gonna come, just hang out. The fake Rio. Hey, what's up? The fake Rio. I hope I pronounced that right. The fake Rio. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. The fake Rio. I never met you before, but I appreciate you popping in. What's the Big Time Show? It is a show directed toward Dallas Cowboy content. If you're a football fan and you love or hate the Cowboys, this may be a show for you. If not, it is what it is. What's going on? All right, let's talk, y'all. Let's talk. Let's talk. So you can tell by my title on today that I'm quite sure you would agree that there's a lot of talk going on. There's a whole lot of talk. Which is what is supposed to happen during this time of the year. A whole lot of talk. And I'm not one to get, too hype or too low about talk. But I will admit that I have been paying close attention because everything this year is new. I'm listening to the coaching staff. I'm listening to Jerry and Steven. I'm definitely listening to the players. And just trying to get a gauge on, you're not going to know everything. We know that. Just trying to get a gauge on little small nuggets that you can, hold on to as the year gets, get going. So some of the things that are being said, it is big, even though we're nowhere near week one. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. First of all, the Cowboys are supposed to be talking real good right now. Everything is fresh. You're 0-0. Nobody ain't lost a game. Nobody's won the game. Nobody scored a touchdown. Nobody is not giving up a touchdown. Everybody's incredibly optimistic, which, professional athletes have to be. You don't go in with negativity thoughts. They don't have the sentiments of the fan base. They don't have. They're not dying or complaining or thinking we're not going to do absolutely nothing. They don't think like that. They're not wired like that. They're 1-4. They still should believe they can turn the thing around and win the Super Bowl. That's how most teams think. I don't care what the sport is. You just think differently when you play, or you have played. Most of you have played, so you know what I'm talking about. There is no surrender. It's just not in. It's just nothing you can say or do to try to kill. There's no sense of playing if you don't believe. So everybody is talking a good talk, but in particular, I'm very interested to hear what Coach Schottenheimer has to say every time he gets in front of a microphone. I have to be, because he is the one that even now, he is the one that is setting the tone for the team. And some of the things that he's saying now obviously can be, you can hang your hat on some of this stuff he's saying. Hey, Auntie. My Auntie's in the building. Hey, Auntie. Auntie Evelyn is here. So you have to pay attention to what is being said from the head coach. You haven't had the microphone in front of Jerry too much. And the times that it's been there, it's been mostly talking about Micah Parsons. That's really it for him. And why he hadn't been signed, and when are you going to sign him, or have you talked to his agent, etc., etc. So Jerry really hadn't had the chance to really just home in on the team like we know he's going to do eventually. That's been pretty much primarily Coach Schottenheimer. And so you got to listen to what he's saying. And so far, hey, if you don't like what he's been saying, I don't understand why. He sounds like a head coach. Yeah, we haven't seen his game management strategies yet. We haven't seen, how he responds in adversity. We ain't seen all that yet. We haven't seen. We don't know anything about it. He ain't done it yet. However, you got to judge him on what he's doing now. Right now, his job is to create culture in that building. And if that is what we're judging right now, then I would like to say that he's doing a fine job at creating culture. I don't see no other way to say it. There's competition going on, even in shorts and pants. There's competition going on, uh, you know, in the locker room, ping pong, and they're going out creating competition. The team is called team bonding. In other words, that's exactly what it's called, team bonding, and they are doing a good job at it. Obviously, you can hear that in the interviews that some of the guys are having. Everybody's sounding almost the same. Responses. You can hear it. And when you hear everybody's positiveness, then step one is done. We ain't talking about the field of play because everybody's in shorts. Nobody's in pads, so everybody is an all-world player in shorts. Everybody. They can't do no wrong in shorts. So we're really not gonna know anything about until the pads come on and they get to kind of start laying leather on each other. When that happens, then we're gonna start finding out and start separating the real from the fake. So we got a little ways to go before we do that. However, why I came today is because I got two things I want to kind of run by you. Then I'll let you have the rest of your evening. I heard what Tyler Guyton said. I don't know if you heard his interview or not. I could cue it up here, but I don't want to do all that. I didn't think about doing it before. Maybe I'll come back and do it. And by the way, you're gonna be seeing a lot more of me, a lot now because school is out. Woo, I feel like shouting right there. School is out, so the summer's here, so I'll be able to hang with you guys a whole lot more. I'll be doing a lot of daytime shows, so keep these notifications on, and you'll be able to hang with me, and we'll get it going. But today, I want to talk about Tyler Guyton a little bit because if you didn't hear that interview, let me tell you something. You're not going to hear a more pure, truthful interview than the one you heard from Tyler Guyton. He simply said, and I quote, "I didn't have a good year last year. I did not play well." It's rare when you'll get a guy that will just flat out tell it like it is. He was not bad, horrible, like make you cringe, but he played like a rookie who had some growing pains. He played like a rookie who had some serious growing pains, and he did. And we all know that. The film don't lie. He struggled in some areas. He had, he struggled. Some days were good, and then of course he got hurt, missed a few games, and I don't think he was ready when he came back, which is one of the problems of the Dallas Cowboys is that they always don't mind rushing people back. But if you listen to his interview, you heard the sincerity in his voice and saying, "Hey, I got to be better," so much to the point where if you looked at him, you would see a difference just in his face because he looks skinny. And true to form, when I saw that, he said that he changed his whole nutrition. He's not eating. He had not been eating fast food. He has not been eating fried food. He's gotten with a chef. I don't know if that means he hired a chef, but he's been studying nutrition. And what he said in the interview, if you see it, he said that he's been eating a lot of vegetables. The meat that he's been eating has been pretty much fish, chicken, and then for protein, because he is a big dude, he's been eating a lot of steak. But he's in the right state to eat, fine steaks, because Texas is known for barbecue, number one, and they're known for some of the best steakhouses in the country, without a doubt. For those of you that have been to Texas, and particularly the Dallas, Arlington area, like I have, you know what I'm talking about if you chose to eat that way. So he slimmed down. Now, I don't know, and from that, he say he feels, way better. He said it about 3 or 4 times, talking about his joints are real good right now and all that type of stuff. So he's eating right. They asked him, you can see it. You can see he slimmed down, at least in the face. You couldn't see the rest of his body, but he was a big dude anyway. I'm still quite sure he's over 300 pounds. But he's always been an agile type guy. He's always been a more athletic type lineman, and certainly losing weight would make that happen. But he even said that he still needs to get bigger. So he may have lost a lot of weight and maybe trying to get back to the weight where maybe somewhat closer to the weight where he was before, while the season was going on. But here's the thing that you need to take from it, and what I took from it. Because Tyler Guyton has been one of the ones that we have, where everybody has put the question mark on. There's really not a lot of question marks on the interior of the offensive line. The center, the guards, Tyler Smith, Tyler Booker, BB. There's not a lot of questions or bad comments about them at all. You have not heard it. However, you have heard a whole bunch of question marks on the tackles, over right and left tackle. And Tyler Guyton knows that. And it's obvious that he's been attacking it. First thing he said was that he listened to Tyler Smith's retirement and how much emphasis, Tyler had put down, saying he took care of his body. He talked about Zach Martin, about how much he stayed on that level, that all-pro level for all those years, and how Zach took care of his body. And he said that he wanted to be one of the greats. And he got 2 guys right there that obviously, goes down, and they are considered, some of the greats. So I like what I'm hearing from him. That's what I'm really leaning toward. I think he said some great things that it makes you feel a little bit better. He acknowledged he was not good. He acknowledged that he needed to get better. And the bottom line is he's taking those steps to become better. Now, of course, you can't judge it because we ain't on the field yet. We ain't got the pads yet. So we have to see exactly. Hey, Terry. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Tovar, whoever you are. I don't know if you're a male or a female. So I'll just say, Dallas Tovar. Okay, so you're happy that whoever team you're representing is playing the Cowboys. Good, okay, good. Uh, the Chiefs are playing us Thanksgiving. You say Arizona don't play the Cowboys. Okay, good. Come holler at me when your team plays. I'll be right here. So I'm excited about hearing Tyler. I was pleased with what he's saying. And then the players, some of the players have noticed, um, you know, him as well, and they called out his name as well. Coach Schottenheimer called out his name, saying that the man is in there every day. He's been there every day since the season ended, I understand. So it's obvious. It's one thing you can say he's dedicated to the cause. It don't mean just cause he's there every day he gonna play like an all pro. It's just that it's obvious good to know that he's taking things seriously. He knows he has to get better. He knows he has work to do, and it looks as if he's doing it. And we will see, how well he plays. The good thing about him is that because of the people that are on this team as far as pass rush goes and pretty good defensive end, he's going to get baptized by fire. Because look who he got to go against every day in practice. You got a different variety of guys, a different variety of skill sets that he has to go against that, is going to resemble a lot of the guys that we're going to be playing this year. So if he can handle practice well, he should be able to handle some of these teams well, because a lot of them not as good as, it ain't too many ends that are better than Michael Parsons. So if you put Mike against him, he's going to test him out real good. Dante Fowler will give him problems and get him straight. You know what I'm saying? Nealon, in his own way, with his strength, will get him, right. Sam Williams, who's coming back, speed and strength. So he's gonna get what he needs to get ready for when you look at the teams, as I said before, who were playing just coming out the gate. Our tackles better be right. They better be right. Because if he's not right, he will get exposed. I don't have to remind you. First game of the year, we're playing Philadelphia, who has Smith as a pass rusher and another guy over on the other side. They're dangerous. You got the Giants the next game. You got Thibodeau on one end, and then you're going to have Abdul Carter, the guy that I wanted more than anybody in the draft, from Penn State on the other end. Then you got Dexter Lawrence in the middle. So you're going to get tested. Whatever you got in you, we're going to find out real quick. Playing the Raiders this year. You got Max Crosby over there, the great Max Crosby. You got Detroit. You're playing Hutchinson, who will be back next year. I mean, the list goes on and on. Once you just look at the people that we're playing, I mean, we're going to find out how good all of them are. But I'm pleased. First steps first. He admits that he was not good. He admits that he needs to step it up. He knows he has to. He knows that last year's performance is not going to get the job done. He knows that. He said it, and he's taking the steps to start accomplishing that goal. Nutritionally, getting his body right. He looks amazing. Everybody said he looks quicker. That's what you're gonna need. No question about it. So I like, and I'm gonna hang my hat on what Tyler Guyton had to say. I'm gonna hang my hat on it. I ain't saying he's gonna be a Pro Bowl tackle. I'm not saying that at all. I am saying though, I'm gonna lean on the expectation that excuse me, that in his second year he's gonna play better than his rookie year. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that. I'm saying that. You see William Kill with that last comment there. Tells you all you need to know. That's the Giants. Excuse me. That's the Giants. Look at who we playing. Look at what I mean. Look at just that's not formidable. I don't know what it is. I mean, you add in Chauncey Golston with it. I mean, come on, man. They're loaded. And so then if your line is not right, you're gonna get exposed. When you play teams that got multiple weapons on defense, like the Giants have, like the Eagles have, like Washington has, like Kansas City has, the Broncos, the Raiders. League, what's going on? You know, you gotta have things right. And so it's good to know that guys are taking it seriously. Even the coach don't have to say that. Nobody has not done anything. Hey, Miss Verdi, I see they've taken upon themselves. And Guyton, if you haven't heard the interview, I promise you, it was just, you can see the tone that he had. Like he's been dying to get back out here. He's been dying to get back to play because, you know, last year left a bad taste in his mouth. The injuries, I'm quite sure he played on it. He wasn't right. And he got blamed for a lot. You know, nobody don't want to get blamed. And from what everyone say, he's been there every day. Every day. It just didn't start. It started at the end of the year, they say. I mean, he's been there. So as this kid is taking things tremendously serious. And I would say that I just believe that he's going to have a better year than he had last year. What does that equal to? I don't know. I ain't saying all pro. I ain't saying Pro Bowl. I'm just saying he's going to be better than what he was last year. And if he is better than what he was last year, then guess what? You're going to have a better offensive line. I ain't got no problem with it. I love what Tyler Guyton say. I hope you guys check that out. Go, if you haven't seen it, go look at the interview with Tyler Guyton coming up. You guys need to check that out. You're not going to find much of a pure guy who talks to the media like, yeah, I'm taking the blame. He didn't say that. But you can feel it like, yeah, it's my fault. I know it. I know I got to be better. I looked at my tape. I didn't like my tape. All that type of stuff. So you really, really, really can appreciate that. Well, at least I do. Let me say it like that. That's the first thing I want to talk about. I hope you guys picked that out. Second thing I want to talk about is one receiver who I think if we start dissecting this thing a little bit better, I think he might be in trouble, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all that. Let me tell y'all who out of the wide receiver group. Let me just test this out. I'm waiting on y'all too. Let me see if Instagram is still here. I don't know if Instagram is here or not. But let me ask y'all this. Okay, most of us know who the receivers are. Let me just run them down real quick. You got Lamb, Pickens, Tolbert, Mingo, Turpin, Brooks is still on there. If I'm forgetting somebody, it is what it is. But I want y'all to tell me. If y'all put y'all opinion in the chat on this. Who is in trouble as far as keeping a job this year in the wide receiver room? We'll see if y'all think like I do. I see William. Out of all the names, I need y'all to really think on this, and I'm gonna break it down in just a second. I just need to see. Somebody, when you really think about it, somebody might be in a little trouble here. Somebody might be in a little trouble now. Y'all put it in. I see William, he puts Tolbert is in there. Y'all put it in. Who in the wide receiver room last year played good? None played good. Let me say except CD. CD, you know. I'm saying out of all of the guys that we know that's on this team, he says Brooks. Terry says Tolbert. Danny Gomez says Tolbert. Kid Cowboy says Jalen Brooks. Who else? Because this is significant because of two reasons. Well, really mainly one. And I'll tell you about that in a second. B-Bird says Tolbert is in trouble. What's up, B-Bird? Kid Cowboys, he'll get picked up. I'm assuming Kid Cowboy, you talking about Brooks. Okay. Anybody else? I'm gonna give my opinion. Ain't nobody wrong or right on here. I'm just gonna give my opinion about who in the wide receiver room. But somebody got to be in trouble. Somebody has to be. And I ain't talking about the lower end guys. I'm talking about one. Joe says Mingo is in trouble. Okay. You think Mingo is in trouble? Anybody else? Before I crank it up. Okay, I got your kid, Cowboy. You talking about Brooks. Now keep in mind, some of these guys are going to be probably on the practice squad. Like Brooks, for instance, Kid Cowboy. I think he's in trouble of being on the main roster, but I really do believe he will be on the practice squad. Okay. Williams says Tolbert and Brooks got to shine the special team. Mingo depth for sure. Okay. Let me go and give my opinion. Most of y'all already said it. First of all, let's start at the beginning. When Pickens got here, it automatically knocked people down. The only person that it did not knock down was CD Lamb. So if you were projected to be a number 2 receiver, once the trade happened for Pickens, you automatically dropped to number 3. Automatically. So the question is, who was number 3 before Pickens got here? Okay? So that's the way you gotta look at it. I mean, it's just truthful. When Pickens came, Pickens automatically became our number 2 wide receiver. Automatically. Which knocked our presumed number 2 receiver down to 3, and our number 3 to 4, and our number 4 down to 5. So you gotta look at this thing. Somebody ain't gonna make it. Somebody going to the practice squad. Now let's look at it. Let's look at it. The number 3 wide receiver is before Pickens had to be either Jalen Tolbert or Jonathan Mingo. There's no question about that. Pick it, or I ain't say who it was. You pick your choice, who you want to be there. is between those two as the number 3. All right. I want to say this. I want to say that Kevontae Turpin was going to be our number 4 receiver. Regardless. Why? Because you paid him. And now, because of the money that you're paying him, you got to get him the ball in the offense. You're not just doing him just to be a kickoff return guy. You don't pay him that type of money. Okay? And you're not, and then let's just be realistic. Most kickers kick it through the end zone anyway. So you ain't just, you just ain't paying them just to, not, I mean, come on now. Turpin really is going to be our 4th receiver. I ain't mad at it at all because he's a weapon and he can make plays. So that either mean Tolbert or Mingo probably are battling for the 4th and I may be wrong on that. They might say Turpin is the 5th receiver, which makes it even worse for them. Because that means after the 5th receiver, somebody going to the practice squad. And I believe Turpin, he has to be on the team because he's the primary kick returner, right? So he's going to be there. And he's a special teams all-pro player. So it ain't no question about Turpin. Turpin's going to be in the mix. Pickens done messed it up for Mingo and Tolbert. Now, let me carry it another step further. The Jones family, as we all know by now, are loyal to a draft pick or trying to prove people wrong. Now, I know everybody's excited about this offseason and what they've done and the little changes that it looks like they made, but make no mistake about it, they ain't changed everything. They're not giving up. They're not going to give up, for instance, on Moses Smith. Just like they didn't give up years ago on Connor Williams, the lineman. Y'all remember that? My God, Matt Walesko is still on this team right now. I don't know how he done survive, but he's still on this team. They just refuse to bow down on what everybody else sees. So, and on that note, they have for years, since Mingo got here, pumped up his draft pick. They always say, we got our 4th round draft pick. It's Jonathan Mingo. That's what they say. They always say that. We could have had a remake. No, our 4th round pick, we got Jonathan Mingo. Our 4th, we want a receiver. No, we already got one. Jonathan Mingo. That's what we got. You see what I'm saying? So until Mingo plays with Dak Prescott, that is the only way that they're going to be proven wrong about Mingo. Mingo was with Cooper Rush. Mingo didn't even know the playbook last year. That's the reason why he didn't have a grasp on the playbook. He didn't have a grasp on anything, and plus he was playing there. They envisioned Mingo with Dak, not Dak, Mingo with everybody else. So Mingo is safe. Are y'all following me? Which then leaves Mr. Tolbert. I'm glad y'all answered. I think Tolbert in trouble, y'all. Not worried about Jalen Brooks. I don't think Jalen Brooks has a chance to bypass anybody on the depth chart. I think Jalen Brooks will be a practice squad player once it's all said and done. If nobody else picks him up, which is a possibility, I think Jalen can play. I like Jalen Brooks. He's just one of these guys that just never had the opportunity. Any other wide receiver that we got, I don't know. I don't know. And if that is the case, what's the kid name that we got in the draft? Or I forgot. Can Tolbert beat him out? I'm serious. I think Tolbert is in trouble. I believe really Tolbert is, and remember now, here's the other thing. Even though he led the team, I think last year in touchdown, he made some plays. But they've been waiting on Tolbert to take that next step, and he hasn't taken it. Not to their thing. And so I think that Jalen Tolbert, I'm serious. I think he's in real trouble. Turpin has to be on this team. I ain't talking about Pickens and Lamb and Mingo. I think they safe. I mean, that iron safe. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about the rest of them. I think Turpin, with the money he got paid, it automatically made him a option now on offense. We're going to see more of it because you paid him, and you ain't just paying him to watch a ball go over his head off the kickoff from a kicker. Mostly every kicker can kick it out the end zone. He got to play. He got to touch the ball now. And he can do it. Turpin is a problem. Speed is a problem. And he can catch the ball. So that's 4 wide receivers then who are automatic. You usually only carry 5. Am I right about that? Well, at least the Cowboys ain't. On a game day, you only carry about 5. I don't think Turpin is going to be listed as the 5th receiver. I mean, he very well could be. He very well could be, but I don't think he's going to be the 5th receiver. I think Turpin is going to be the 4th receiver this year. I think so. I forgot Kicker Cowboy. Thanks for saying that. Kicker Cowboy said, forget the kickoff coverage. Just don't think about punt returns as well. He's our punt returner. He's our kickoff returner. So Turpin is without a doubt safe. He's an all-pro. Made his first all-pro team last year as a kick returner. He's safe. They got to make a spot up for him. He just so happen to be a wide receiver too. That got a nice big contract. He's gonna be in the offense next year. He is. Pickens has messed it up, in my view, for Tolbert. I really don't see where he fits in. And keep this in mind, y'all. The people that love Jalen Tolbert, those people are out of the building now. Y'all heard the term in content creator land, his sponsors are not in the building. They're not. And if he is on the squad, as William just said in there about the Cowboys possibly keeping 6 receivers, okay, then really the only way he's really going to be I ain't going to say the only way. I'm just going to say, is it safe to say that Jalen Tolbert then would have to play special teams? I don't know if I don't know what he is. I don't know if he got that kind of dog to be playing special teams. I don't know. I don't know what he is. I don't know if he got that in him. To go hit somebody dead in the mouth. I don't know if that's him. But he's going to have to do, because you want your fast guys on special teams. Tolbert will be one of those fast guys. But does he have that mentality to do it? I'm just saying, as far as being, I'm quite sure he'll get a couple snaps in, but his arrow got to be doing this. It's got to be going down. It's got to be. Not and here's the sad part. As I said, he led the team in touchdowns last year. Made some key plays last year. Made some plays. It just ain't no question. But Pickens just done. I mean, Pickens just done flipped the whole script. I'm just saying. I think his job, whatever that job, well, put it this way, he still may have a uniform, but whatever was projected for him before Pickens got here, he may be a guy that have lost not only his presumed spot, but probably 2 spots. Everybody else kind of lost a spot down. He may have lost 2 spots. Because I don't think he's over-turping. He's not over-turping. Can't be. So he's lost 2 spots. He possibly could have been either the second or third guy before Pickens got here. He could have possibly been, of course, we've been begging for another number 2 if he was it, because most of us have seen him play and we figure we need to get better in that area. But it's obvious, man. It's obvious. Jalen Tolbert is the only guy in the wide receiver room that have lost 2 spots because of Pickens coming. And right there, when you cooking, man, I'm gonna need to send you this link and let you just take over the show, because I was just about to come to that. That's why I said he didn't play bad. But what Williams said right there, Tolbert is not a practice squad wide receiver. He's not. And he's not a bottom of the barrel last on the depth chart wide receiver either. He's not. He ain't no trash now. There's just folks that are better than him. And so I believe that he won't be on a practice squad. I think Tolbert is that good that a team will come and get him. I fully agree with William Kill, and I almost want to agree with his choice right there by saying Kellen Moore, who's the head coach of the Saints, who just lost their quarterback and Derek Carr, so they starting over again. Man, look, Tolbert can go down there and just Tolbert can go down there and at least be a 3. You know, once he gets in and gets acclimated with the system, he can at least jump to 3. So I don't think he's gonna be a Cowboy. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. You know, you gotta really make up a spot for him. He's one that's really, Daniel. I appreciate your pushback, but I believe you just got in here. I don't know if you did or not. Let me take that back. It's just an opinion, but I appreciate your opinion, because I don't think that if you tell me, all I'm gonna ask you, David, is Daniel. I'm sorry. I'm gonna ask you, Daniel. Do you think? And again, it's an opinion. Do you believe that they value Tolbert more or Mingo more? That's. I think I already know your answer by the way you answered that, but I just want to throw that out because I know he's not overvalued than Lamb or Pickens. I know that. The question is, again, when you're right about that, if they value Tolbert more than they do Mingo, then I understand what you're saying there. I'm taking the side that not because of the player, is just what they did to get Mingo and how they keep throwing Mingo in our faces by saying that, you know, we got our pick. You know, y'all saying we need this, but we got Mingo. They just haven't seen it with Dak yet. And I guess what you're saying, but they seen Tolbert with that, and they got it. I get it. I get it. I think they value Mingo more. I think they're gonna have Mingo as the 3 and Turpin as the 4. And if he's there, he might be the 5th. That's it. In special teams. I mean, you put your best 4 out there on a 4 wide receiver set. I'm not sure Tolbert is going to be out there. I think you're going to have Lamb, Pickens, Mingo, Turpin on 4 wide receivers set. I think Tolbert's value is going down. I think that's going to be very interesting as we approach training camp. I think we better pay attention. If you want to pay attention to a spot right there. It ain't that many spots that just kind of, open. Like you got to say, okay, we got to concentrate on this spot here because it's open. You can see it. I think that's one of the spots that we better kind of keep our eye on. Who's valued more? Is Mingo valued the way I'm describing him, or is Mingo or is Tolbert valued more? Because depending on where they are in the depth chart, will answer the question. You say Tolbert has been running with Lamb and Pickens and the OTA. Well, so has Mingo. So has Mingo. So that's really not saying anything there. Everybody's been with that. All of them are there. And I understand Tolbert has worked with Dak over the summer at his house and all that type of stuff. In his workout, that's fine. But Dak don't run nothing. Dak can mention and say who he like and all that type of stuff. But the Cowboys spent valuable draft compensation on a guy who had a first-round grade as a wide receiver a couple years ago, who just hasn't been in the right system. Carolina really never had no quarterback. So you really don't know what Mingo is. Still young, huge, big body guy who had a first round grade. And he never played with Dak. He played with Cooper Rush. And he didn't know the playbook at all. Not enough. When he came over, he had to learn the system and all that type of stuff. So he was limited in what he really could do. And at the same time, I get it why you're saying, Daniel, about him being 3rd, because, he led the league he led the team in touchdowns. Made big plays for him. He can play. I just think the Cowboys think they got a better version of Tolbert through Mingo. And because of that, I think he's going to be listed as the third guy. And I think that's going to knock down Tolbert to possibly 4, but I don't think he's going to be number 4. I think Kevontae Turpin is going to be the number 4 wide receiver, considering he just got paid. He has to be a part of the offense now. I'm just saying. True Cowboy fan, I see you. You thinking the same way I'm thinking. If you're looking at his comments in the chat there, I knew I wasn't the only one thinking this. I just wanted to point it out because I think this is going to answer a whole lot of questions as far as spots goes at the lower end of the roster. Do they like Tolbert enough that they really are going to save him a spot at the end of the roster? See, that's why I'm looking at it now. Like, is he going to be a part of the 53? You see what I'm saying? Or do they need this extra defensive back? Or do they need this extra linebacker? You see what I'm saying? And I think Tolbert is going. It ain't gonna be Mingo. I think Tolbert is gonna be the sacrificial lamb. It's four wide receivers on this team that are solid. It's gonna be on this team. I don't have to see nothing. I know they're gonna be on this team. Lamb, Pickens, Mingo, Turpin. I know that for sure. There ain't no question. Those four are there. Well, if you carry 6 receivers, you got 2 left. That leaves Tolbert, Brooks, and whoever else they come with after that. Those guys probably won't make it unless they just go completely nuts in the preseason and just take a spot. But then you have to start looking elsewhere. You have to look, okay, do we need 7 offensive line? Do we need 7 defensive backs? You see what I'm saying? So I think not Turpin, but Tolbert, it ain't going to be Mingo. It's got to be Tolbert. I've already conceded that Brooks, is probably not going to make it, and then hopefully nobody picks him up, and then we sign him to the practice squad. That's what happened last year. I think that's what's going to, possibly happen again. But my other point is, I think Tolbert is too good to not make it through. I believe he's going to get picked up if he doesn't make the team. He's just a little bit too good to be waiting to get on somebody's practice squad. No. Tolbert is good enough. I'm just saying things that, depend on what. See, we don't know what the Cowboys, because we got a whole new staff. So we don't know we don't know how many running backs are we going to carry this year? Think about it. How many running backs? Usually you would have, bam, bam, bam. I think you would carry 4 on a 4 or 5, 4 sometimes 5 on a roster, a game day roster. 4, minimum 4. I think, you know what I'm saying? I don't really want to get into that thing because it's another whole show. But you figure Javonte Williams, Jadon Blue, Hunter Lemke, yes. And, right then and there, okay, is Miles Sanders going to make the team? Okay. What about Phil Moffitt from Clemson, who everybody seems to like? Is he going to bump Miles Sanders? But regardless, you're only going to carry so many running backs. You're only going to carry so many offensive line. Where our offensive line just got snipped last year. You see what I'm saying? We need to keep at least 7 on the roster for us. You just about have to. Seriously. I think that's a lesson they learned last year. That's why they kept so many on the roster. You just about need 7 offensive linemen. Seriously. They're going to keep all 3 quarterbacks. Thank you, Will. I think they're going to carry all 3. And the way that we find that out is somebody needs to go back and look at the teams that Brian Schottenheimer was the offensive coordinator. The Jets, the Seahawks in particular. And see the roster that he coordinated. And that'll answer our question. How many quarterbacks did he have? That'll answer our question right there. Me personally, without looking at it, I think we're gonna carry all 3. We can't afford to. We got. If you're talking about Milton, you have to keep insurance for him because he's a running quarterback. He get hit one time, look out, he's gone. You gotta have insurance for that. Dak stays. Last few years look like he stayed hurt. Come on now. I know you. I say without a doubt we gonna carry 3, just because of Dak. If you want to say injury prone, Okay, you can have that. If you're saying if because of the way that Joe Milton plays and he absorbs contact and likes to get hit, you know we keeping 3 quarterbacks. I ain't even got to look. I just think that's just common sense. Williams says 4 tight ends as well. That's Schottenheimer because he loves to run the ball. So you're going to get some blocking tight ends and some, of course, tight ends that can catch as well. Yeah, we're going to have 4 tight ends. I can see that easily. All I'm saying is when you start having a roster in spots where it requires one more player in a spot that usually only carries maybe 3 or 4. 3. When you start talking about that, then you got to take away from some of the other spots where you used to carry a lot. The Cowboys have always carried a lot of wide receivers. I don't know this year. I don't know. I don't know. I'm serious. I don't get that feel, and I don't think that the value for I believe the value would be for an offensive lineman when you're filling out the 53. I feel like you would think about that. I think maybe the cornerback position is going to be loaded. You see what I'm saying? We got to have it. There's some spots that we got to have some more insurance. But we got to. And I don't think wide receiver is on that high. I don't. And because of that, somebody in trouble on the wide receiver room. Somebody in trouble. And I think Tober's name is in that trouble mix. I do. The more I think about it, and the more that I just know that it's 4 guys that I know for sure that I know is going to be on, one of the 4 wide receivers. Again, Lamb, Pickens, Mingo, and Turpin. And Turpin, those are your 4. Top 4 right there. You can flip it out. If you want to say it can't be Turpin, y'all, because he's going to be on the roster. He ain't in no trouble. He's an all-pro kick returner. So he's number 4. Got to be. He has to be. He's more valuable than Jalen Tolbert. Let's just say it like that. Now, if you got 5, okay, you can flip it and make Tolbert your number 4, and then it's over with Turpin. However you want to look at it, but if Tolbert is your number 4, you automatically, as a number 5 position, you're in a battle for that last couple spots on this team, and depending on how the Cowboys play this thing, as what is the real need for the extra in a certain position, somebody's gonna get chopped off this team that you automatically think should make it. And I think Tolbert is a candidate to get the X or the axe. In other words, get chopped off this team. I'm serious. I don't like it. I know it sounds strange to some of you. I get it. I know everybody ain't got to agree. Again, it's just my opinion. But I've sat in and thought about it and saying, like, Tolbert's contract, not Tolbert, Turpin's contract have messed a wide receiver up on this team. And the acquisition of George Pickens has messed up somebody's a wide receiver on this team. Those 2 combined is going to get somebody at the end of the line. Automatic. Notice I said neither one of those guys play. Neither one of those guys play on the field has got somebody in trouble. I'm saying just them being here in Pickens' case, and then because of the contract that Turpin got this year, that without even catching the ball, that put somebody in trouble. Oh, that, as far as wide receiver goes, Jalen Brooks ain't got a chance this year. He ain't got a chance. I don't care if he catch every ball. I don't care how well he does run after the catch. I don't care. I don't care. It's not going to make a difference. He's essentially would be trying out for another team. He can actually make another team by playing well in preseason, because if he make it, somebody snag him up. And I'm quite sure he's already thinking that. He has no other choice but to think that. He certainly ain't saying I'm going to take somebody's spot. Not Jalen Brooks. Jalen Brooks knows he can't take nobody's spot on this team. It's definitely the top 4. He knows it. So he's looking to get reps. He's looking to play in the preseason because he's trying out. And quiet as kept, I think Mr. Toad is trying out too. That's all I'm saying. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. And trust me, I like Toad. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about Toad. I do. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think I am. I really don't. I really believe I'm bullseye on this. I really do. I really believe that that I'm right. Let me tell you one more thing. We have cut day coming up, I believe, on this June, I think this week. This is where the salary cap casualties happen. Let me throw this in. Jared Thomas got a $2 super chat. Thank you, bro. He says, cutting good players is a good problem for us. Oh my, yes sir. But let me throw this in. Trading them too. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all ain't gonna like what I'm saying today. But I said I thought about it. One thing, Donovan Wilson. I think he got an 8.5. The Cowboys can save 8.5 on the cap if they cut him. We have capable safeties in the back, Marquise Bell. We have Wanye Thomas, who makes plays every time he get on the field. We have guys that can play. Also, there's a certain guy that's in Miami who I think, he's still a corner, but, I'm just throwing it out there. I ain't saying we're going to get him because we ain't going to take on the contract, but I believe you're going to get a Jalen Ramsey and move him to safety. I believe you're challenging for a Super Bowl then. I know that's wild because he ain't never played it, but I'm just saying he's fully capable of doing that. I'm just saying that's one guy. And we got safeties on this team. There's really not. Is there really a gap between Marquise Bell and Donovan Wilson, talent-wise? I mean, seriously. Is there really a real difference between the two? Y'all have to judge that on yourself. I don't know. But let me say this last thing, and see, there you go. See what I'm saying? Terry thinking like I am. If you get $8 million back, you can go get somebody. You still got a chance to get somebody. It's going to be some real good guys that are going to get cut. We ain't the only team that's going to cut somebody. There's going to be a shocker with a lot of teams, with guys that are getting paid a lot of money that are going to get cut. And if you're trying to win the Super Bowl this year, you might need to invest in some of this stuff. I'm just saying. Now, I got one more real thing to say here. Now watch this one. Y'all think I've been going crazy before? Watch this one. I'm just going to cut it real clear. if the Dallas Cowboys, y'all ain't gonna like this, but I'm just saying, and this will cut down your Super Bowl hopes. Okay? I'm saying that beforehand. But if the Dallas Cowboys, y'all, know already that they're not going to pay DaRon Bland, then he becomes the best probably trade piece on this team. Right? If you know, look, if Bland has another Pro Bowl season, yet alone all pro season, the price tag for him just gonna go up even further. If you already know you're not gonna pay him now, you'll get something back for him. Why even play around with this thing? What, you gonna rent him for that and then let him walk free? You ain't gonna get nothing back. You know, Pro Bowl, all pro quarterbacks don't fall off trees, you know. You see what I'm saying? They don't fall off trees. You better get some, you know, and keep in mind there's some guys that's out there. My fraternity brother, Jair Alexander from Green Bay is gonna be out there. All pro. I'm just saying, if you know you're not going to play Bland, because you know what the price tag gonna be automatically. If you know that you're not going to get him, why not? Go ahead. I see what you're saying, Will. I'm just saying, why do that? And then when we come to free agency, unless you're gonna put the franchise tag on, of course. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Unless you're gonna do the franchise tag, which I doubt very seriously, but because I think you're gonna spend the franchise tag on once we see how good this Pickens thing gonna be. I believe that you're gonna put the franchise tag on Pickens next year. You get him for 2 years. After that, you let him walk. Well, I don't know. It might be Pickens. See, that's another whole show by itself. Like if this offense explodes, which I think it will, and Pickens goes completely off, and you know you want to keep this thing going because you only got 4 years to make this work because you paid your quarterback for 4 years. You trying to get a banner. You trying to get a banner in the building in these 4 years. You take away Pickens from this team. If it go like I think it's going to go, you ain't going to be so quick to be in a hurry to get rid of him, but he going to be a free agent. And you know you ain't going to be able to pay the tag because I fully anticipate Pickens to have a big year. So you, instead of Bland, you might put that franchise on Pickens just to keep the offense intact. Why not? It's the average between the first receiver and I think the fifth receiver. Between the first receiver and the fifth receiver, that's 35 million and 30. So the franchise tag for Pickens would be over $30 million. He'll be happy with that 1 year deal. Like, wow, okay. Now the Cowboys, of course, ain't gonna want to pay no wide receiver that much. You know that. I just don't. I don't want the end of this year to happen and Bland and Pickens walk away with nothing. Now, of course, some of you have said we'll put the tag on him, on Bland. Okay, you can do that. And then we try to figure it out. It seems more likely that way. I'm just saying, if this offense do what I think it's going to do, it's going to be a lot of pressure on the Jones family from the fan base. ESPN going to be saying the Cowboys just have to keep this together. The offense is too good. They can't do this. That's what they're going to say. And Pickens ain't going to want no cheap deal, as he shouldn't. You're going to have to pay him. And I'm just like y'all. I don't see Jerry paying one receiver $35 million a year and then paying Pickens $29, $28 to 30 or something like that. I just don't see it. $58 million, $59 million between just two players as receivers. That just don't make, I don't see Stephen Jones doing that, period. So I agree with y'all. I believe this is a 1 year rental. But what happens if it goes berserk? Let's just play the what if game right quick. I'll just do one. But what if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl? And we know that the offense was the driving force of this team. And they ended up winning the Super Bowl. There's nowhere in the world Pickens leaves this team. Because then he would be considered the difference maker. Just his presence alone changes things. You know, they opened it up for CD. Dak had probably his greatest season. And, you know, all this kind of stuff. There's nowhere in the world you let him go. I'm just saying, you know, this is just an opinion thing. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, just play the what if game real quick. But that's a byproduct of what I said earlier, and that's blame. Look, if the I'm sorry. One thing the Cowboys love to do is they hold on to their players too long, and then they let them walk for nothing. We didn't get nothing for DeMarcus Ware. We didn't get nothing for Byron Jones back in the day. We didn't get nothing. Oh my goodness. We didn't get nothing for Zeke. I mean, just go down. It's a long list. We didn't get nothing. And unless you put the franchise tag on Bland, he's a free agent. And if he has any kind of good year, the tag for him is going to go up. If he have another all-pro year, whatever you thought he was going to ask for, you might as well, add some more zeros to that. We can get another Tyron Smith. Exactly. Nothing. So the Cowboys have a pattern of always letting guys just walk away free. And we don't get nothing. There's another one. Y'all see the list. Marlon Murray, we don't get a trade. They don't trade him. So I'm saying, if you know that beyond shadow of doubt that you're not going to pay Bland, and I don't blame Bland if he have another great year, he's going to ask for what he deserves. And that's going to be one of the top tier cornerbacks in this league. Now, it may not be Patrick Surtain money, but it ain't going to be too lower than that. I'm just saying. Why not? I mean, you got to get something back. You just can't let these guys just keep walking and we come back to the first thing we're going to say, well, we need another cornerback in the draft. We need to sign a cornerback. We really need help in the cornerback department. Get you some help by trade. If you know you're not going to sign him, he becomes one of the greatest bargaining. You're going to get something for Blaine. You're going to get something for Blaine. No, it's not going to be a first round pick. No, it's not going to be a second round pick. It might be a third, possibly a third, but it's definitely going to be in the fourth round range and down. And you might get multiple picks for Blaine. He's an all-pro cornerback. You just don't. You ain't getting just no seventh round pick back. No. If you know that you're not going to keep him. Exactly, Will. That's what I'm saying. That's why they drafted that kid, Revell. They're hoping that he is the man. If you know that you're going to keep Diggs or vice versa, if you know that you're going to keep Bland and let go of Diggs, listen, cutting just ain't going to get it. No, we need something back. That's all I'm saying. If we in a win now, slight rebuild mode, you can't let your better players go and nothing comes back. Whether it's a comp pick or actual trade, whatever the case may be, just get something. Just don't let these guys just walk like they let everybody else do over the years. We gotta get something back. That's only if you know. And they already know. Bland ain't finna go down. Bland is a dog. Bland gonna have a good year. Why wouldn't you believe it? I mean, he's had a good year since he walked in the door. Rookie year, second year, third year. I mean, just for the turning to know, it ain't like Cinderella. It ain't no, Cinderella come home. No. This dude can play. And teams would love to have a good cornerback. I'm just saying. It just all depends on, and I understand that, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying, I understand that, they got a little animosity with Diggs right now because he filming this documentary. He ain't been to the building and let Brett, the trainers of the Cowboys get their hands on him, try to get him right. He's been doing his own thing as far as rehab goes. Cowboys don't like that, and he might be very well. Might be maybe talking about the wrong guy here. I might be talking the wrong guy. I may need to be talking about Diggs out here before Bland. I would probably like that one myself. But I'm saying we at the end of this season, no matter where we are, playoffs, no playoffs, Super Bowl, no Super Bowl, you just can't let Bland just walk out of the building for nothing. We done that too many times. We just can't do that. We need to do what everybody else doing. Catch up. Shoot. Look, we ain't married. The Cowboys act like they married to these players. Man, look. Get rid of them. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. We ain't married to these players. Get the team better. Make the team better. Since they love draft picks, don't trade one of them. Diggs, Bland, whichever one. Don't do it. And make your team better since you love the draft. Get your picks in there. You have 10, 11 picks in the draft next year. You go get you another young corner and build him up. And hopefully he'll do the same thing Bland did. Just a great year every year. Diggs, same way. Great year every year. Evidently they got a good eyes for cornerbacks. Ravel seems to be another good one. We'll see how he plays, but he played well in college. So they got good eyes for corners. Guess what? I don't know who the top guy is, but I'm quite sure somebody's going to be incredible coming out of college next year as a cornerback. It is what it is. I'm just saying, let's stop being married to players. Like, we're going to get every inch out of this contract to the end. We're not going to ever trade you. We probably won't cut you. Once you get there, you'll ask for more money, and once you get your ask for more money, we'll decide whether we can pay you or not. If we can't pay you, we'll just let you walk. Thank you for your service. No. Deron Bland, I'm not saying that we should trade him. But what I am saying is he is the most valuable tradable piece. I mean, other than Michael Parsons, and we ain't trading Michael Parsons. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before Michael gets his. I ain't worried about him at all. Not even a thought. But past Parsons, it's got to be Bland. And if you know you ain't gonna pay him, if you know you're not gonna pay him 20 over $20 million a year as a cornerback, 20, 21, 22, whoever, whatever the case may be, then let's go to the other side of it. Let's entertain. I ain't not gonna say you're not gonna do it, but imagine what you could get. I'm just saying. I know the franchise tag is available. I understand that. And I don't want Bland to go. Some players you just don't need to let go of. You don't trade away all pros. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Like, but just don't let them walk. I've never been a fan of trading away all pro players. Your all pro players are your cornerstones. That's just the way I feel about building a football team, especially when they're young. You just don't trade away. You don't let them walk. You keep those guys in the building and you build off of them. You build off of Michael Parsons. You build off of Tyler Smith. You build off of a Deron Bland. Those are guys that you know can flat out play. You know they play at a very high level. You don't trade away those type of young guys. You just don't. You don't let them walk. But I am still saying the same thing. If you're in a position where you just know that you ain't gonna pay them, and you know it just costs too much to pay them, then you got to change the philosophy a little bit. You can't stay bound to these guys when you know that the contract is coming up and you got to come off some big money. William just said it right there. Once we take care of Michael Parsons and possibly Bland, it just keep revolving. Guess what? Another all-pro is coming up. Tyler Smith, who been a dog ever since he walked in. See, this is the problem the Cowboys don't like. See, they love for a guy to be good. They want draft and development. But the problem is, what if they develop too quick? Like you all pro, like Tyler Smith was in his second year. See what I'm saying? Nobody expect Deron Bland to be no all pro quarterback and he drafted in the 5th round. Nobody didn't expect that. You had heighty expectations for Diggs. And he exceeded your expectations for him. But nobody expected Bland to be what he is now. He in his rookie contract. He has outplayed his rookie contract. Tyler Smith already has outplayed his rookie contract. Already. And he coming up. And Tyler Smith, ladies and gentlemen, will be, I'll put it right here, mark it down. Somebody mark this down, and we'll see in about another 2 years. Nobody expected Tyler Smith to be as good as he is now, and he will be the highest paid lineman in the NFL when his time comes. Get ready for it. It's got to happen. He gonna have another Pro Bowl at least added to his resume. He will be universally known as probably one of the top 2 or 3 guards in this league, and he possibly gonna have another All-Pro added to his resume. And that'll be 2 in what 2 and 3 and 4 years. Come on, man. And I know they're going to pay him because they believe in paying linemen now. I mean, the list go on and on. The linemen won't have a problem getting paid. But here's the other thing, though. Watch this. Watch this, y'all. Correct me if I'm wrong. But in Tyler Smith and BB, didn't they get drafted the same year? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What if BB this year? What if BB this year? Watch this. What if BB just makes a Pro Bowl this year? I ain't say all pro. What if he just makes a Pro Bowl this year? That automatically puts him up and says that he is one of the best centers in the league. Watch this. That means that in the same year, you're going to have to pay Tyler Smith and, I'm sorry. They didn't come in the same year. I was thinking Tyler Guyton. Tyler Guyton and BB came in the same year. So they're coming up a couple years later. That's my fault. I'm wrong. That's what I was saying. But that's going to be a problem later on too, y'all. Now that I'm just thinking, as I said that, you got to pay BB and Tyler Guyton in the same year. They came in together. So there's future things going on. And by that time, we'll know what they are. Kid Cowboy, I'm about to come get you on that one. We ain't trading Tyler Smith. They believe in keeping their all-world lineman now. They ain't going to do that. They ain't got time for rebuilding. They trying to see, here's the plan, Kid Cowboy and everybody else. They got 4 years. to get it done. In 4 years, a banner needs to raise up in A&T Stadium that says the world champions. You got 4 years. They all in for these 4 years. They're not about to break up the things that's gonna get them there. The offensive line, they got dreams. They gonna try to keep this young line together for the next 8 to 10 years. It ain't even no question about that. So they ain't trading Tyler Smith. Now I get the Bland part I was talking about, but they don't trade linemen. They keep linemen. They keep Zach Martin past his prime. They keep Tyron Smith past his prime. They keep those guys. They keep those dudes. They believe in having the best line. You ain't got chance. You ain't got time to try to experiment, trade away, and try to find another Tyler Smith. But Tyler Smith don't grow on trees. It's hard to find those guys. They're going to keep this line intact for Dak Prescott to try to win a world championship. They're going to keep CeeDee Lamb. That's why they paid the money for him. I believe that if this offense goes crazy, they're going to do whatever they can to keep Pickens. If he does, opens it up. They're not trading away that. They're trying to win. That's why they paid the money. They're trying to win when they need Nick. Williams says contract due in 2 years, not necessarily voidable, I believe, after 2. They got to win. They ain't going to trade away some of the foundational pieces. Man. You can trade away a Diggs or a Bland, especially if they're not on the field. I don't think you need to trade away a Bland, but Diggs has been hurt. As somebody said earlier in the chat, we talking about 2 knee injuries and all that type of stuff. We don't know if he's gonna be the same. If he's not the same, he has a problem. Hey, John Jones, I see you. I'm just saying, these are the things that we need to start thinking about. And just, that's a lot of stuff I was talking about is future. But as for now, I want to know. I really want to know, and we ain't gonna never know this, but I'm just saying, I wonder what they really feeling for Bland. They got to know that if Bland has any kind of year, his price tag gonna even go up further. They got to know that. And if you know you ain't gonna pay this dude, then you need to get something back from him. You just can't let him walk free. And that conversation will turn in the same fashion for Pickens. Even though everybody say he's a 1-year rental. Listen, if this offense explodes, everybody gonna change that narrative. everybody gonna say you just can't let them walk. That's that's what they gonna say. You let the Cowboys come out here and average 27 points a game, which is what I'm fully expecting. You let that happen. You let Pickens have 1,000 yards a year. The narrative is gonna change just like that. Everybody gonna say, well, he's on a 1 year. Everybody say, see, the narrative is now, and everybody know he should be on his best behavior, all that type of stuff. Everybody gonna say, well, he's on a 1 year rental, and he's gonna play well, and if he plays well, he's gonna have put himself in a position where he can get paid big money, as he should. Yes, he should. But the narrative will change if this offense goes crazy and Dak is going crazy. They're gonna say they're gonna change. They're gonna forget about the first narrative. They're gonna say, "Oh my God, there's just no way in the world that the Cowboys can let him go." That's what they're gonna say, and then that's gonna set up the stage for all year long. Like if I was, it's gonna change. And they're gonna say, "Listen, if I was Jerry, I'd just go ahead and pay him now. Just in the middle of the season, go ahead and pay him now. Don't let him get to the end." See, this is what the narrative gonna be. And then if Pickens gonna say, "No, I'm gonna wait till the end." Pickens gonna say, "No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna put all these stats up. I ain't gonna sign nothing now. No. I'm gonna go on do what I need to do now." Okay. And when the end, if he's healthy and he has a big year, and everybody says, "Listen, he's the difference. He's the X factor and all that type of stuff." Then the narrative they're gonna say, "Jerry waited too late." Jerry, it ain't gonna be Jerry. Probably gonna be Pickens saying, "I'm betting on myself." And they're gonna say, "There's no way in the world." The big question is gonna be all summer long. Why won't the Cowboys sign him? They need him. It's obvious they need him. This is what's gonna be said. Then somebody gonna say something about the franchise tag. Somebody gonna say, they're gonna say the same thing about playing. The question will be, where will the Cowboys put the franchise tag? Will it be on Pickens or will it be on Bland? Tune in tomorrow as we talk about this on Get Up, on First Take, on Speak. We'll listen to Stephen A. say let both of them walk. We'll listen to LaShawn McCoy. You see what I'm saying? See Jason Brewer in. Jason say trade Bland now Diggs. I just finished talking about it. See that? You see what I'm saying? But I answer your question. If I had to pick any two, I would say Diggs. To answer your question, why would any NFL agent want to sign early with Dallas? They won't. But they won't. Unless the player just wants to go ahead and get it over with. You could have a case with George Pickens is that, say, man, I love this place. I love the quarterback. I love CD. Love the offense. I ain't going to even wait. I'm going to sign now. It could be that. I doubt it very seriously, but you just never know. I doubt that would happen. I don't think that would be a good business deal for Pickens. I would say go on, do what you got to do, bet on yourself, and roll the dice a little bit, and put up these numbers. And I don't think then when you also, there's a belief that if Pickens was a sign, he'll start acting a fool. I don't know where people get that from, but people think that he gonna act up and all that kind of stuff. You can't. No, I think Pickens doing right. Just play it out. And then put himself in a position where he gonna win either way. He either gonna sign with the Cowboys or re-sign, or he'll go somewhere else and sign big money. He can't lose. He can't lose. It's just interesting. It's just interesting to see. Yeah. Exactly, Jason. Well, I said the same thing about Bland, though. I think Bland is a more tradable. You'll get more. I think you'll get more with Bland because number one, he's healthy. Number two, he's coming off another All-Pro year. He doesn't have the injuries that Diggs had. He would be the more valuable piece. I believe you get more if with a trade with Bland than a trade with Diggs. So Jay Bryant, you really rolling the dice with a trade with Diggs because you really don't know what you're getting. You know what you're getting with Bland. You know what you're getting. So he would be the more tradable piece. But my whole point, Jason, is I'm tired of the Cowboys. And I don't know if you're a Cowboy fan or not. But I'm tired of letting guys go, cornerstone players, and we get nothing back. We've never gotten anything back from the guys that we have let go of. Tyron Smith, the list is long. The list is long. Tyron, DeMarcus Ware, Byron Jones. The list goes on and on. DeMarco Murray. We've never got nothing back. Nothing. We ain't getting nothing back for DeMarcus Lawrence. See what I'm saying? We ain't getting nothing back for him. He just left. We ain't getting nothing back for Brandon Cooks. We ain't getting nothing. They just let him go. We ain't got. You have to starve and scratch. I'm waiting for the day where we say, okay, we know we're not gonna sign this guy. Let's go ahead and see what we can get for him through the trade. At least we get some type of compensation back. And I believe you trade away Bland, you're gonna get a nice piece back. No, not first round pick, not a second round, not a third, but you possibly might get a fourth round and down. And I'm talking about multiple picks for Bland. You might get 2 picks for Bland. He's an all-pro cornerback. All-pro. You're supposed to get more than just one thing for him. I don't think Diggs would bring it. So, just something to think about as we get ready for the cuts coming up. Somebody ain't going to make it. And it's going to shock some of y'all. I wouldn't be surprised if Donovan Wilson is not cut. I wouldn't be surprised. Team gets $8.5 million back. And we got safeties on behind him. There's not really that big of a difference between Donovan Wilson and Wanye Thomas. It's not. It's not that big of a difference. It's not. What's up, Miss Michelle? How you doing? So, I think we just need to keep an eye on that. I'm not saying it's going to happen, and I'm not saying I want it to happen. I'm just saying they believe in saving money. They believe in creating cap space. And who knows, they may have a plan on to go get somebody. It's going to be some guys on all 32 teams that when these cuts come down, some of us are going to be shocked at some of these names that are going to be available after being cut. And yes, you're going to need some money to get it done. And especially if you like the Cowboys, who I believe that they're really trying to win right now. I ain't talking about next year. I'm talking about this year. I'm talking about this year. And some of these holes that we've been crying about, another vet DT, defensive tackle, some of you been crying about another corner to go on the other side of Bland. I believe that, you make this cut here, you may have some money to go get this job. Go get one of those guys. It's going to be some big, good names that's going to be out there in just a couple of days. It's going to be real interesting. All right? All right. Hope y'all enjoyed my foolishness and I don't think it's conspiracy theory. I think what I'm saying actually makes sense today. You may not agree with it, but I think what I'm saying makes sense. Like, if we know we ain't gonna pay these guys, let's get something for them. Give me some comp picks or something. Give me something. I mean, let's not just let them walk away and then they go to another team like the Marlins where did, win the Super Bowl. You know, all these guys go out and have great years everywhere else. No, we gotta get something back. That philosophy needs to change. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, they're not like, I mean, they're doing what I'm doing, Jason. You're absolutely right. And I appreciate you coming in. I don't know if I ever seen you. I don't know if you follow my show, but follow my show. I'm a Cowboy fan that got seats. I'm not. I'm not a. I almost want to say I'm not a optimistic. You just have to ask the family in here. I'm more of a pessimistic. I live in the now moment. I don't do the optimistic stuff. I ain't one of these delusional Cowboy fans by no means. I call them like I see it. And you're absolutely right in what you say. They're doing what I'm doing now, but they're doing it on a higher level. Like, I bet you they saying now this guy, because they know the contracts too. Oh, everything they look at spotter track like we do. They know all this stuff, and they got a kind of an idea of who gonna get cut. And I bet you some of them are saying, like, if this guy right here gets cut off this team, we need to make a run at him. I'm quite sure they already know. They already have an idea of possibly who's gonna get put away. They already know. They already know who they gonna have to get. You know, we just waiting. They already got a decision on Donovan Wilson, for instance, whether to keep him or to cut him. They already know what they gonna do. They already know. They ain't just finding out. And I think this week and a half is gonna be real interesting. At least, you know, for every team, but for us. Because I believe that the final pieces to the puzzle is going to be answered in these next 2 to 3 weeks. I do. I think that if we're getting a defensive tackle, a veteran, it's going to happen after these cuts. I also believe that if we're going to get another cornerback, it's going to happen in these cuts. Yes, you can sign one later on when the big cuts happen after training camp. But then, you know, you got to get guys in. If you get guys from there, you got to get guys in that's got to learn the system rather quickly. If you're talking about them being effective, they got to learn rather quickly. And I don't know if Cowboys, you know, want to go that route again. I don't know. You know, you'd rather join the team. Most of the guys that were OTAs, they know the playbook, or at least got a good jump on it, or got a good start. Let's just say it that way. The veterans, you know, even though it's a new offensive coordinator, I'm quite sure he's keeping a lot of stuff, you know, that they already know what to do. You add in some more wrinkles and all that type of stuff. You got to learn the language and all that. You bringing guys in after the final cut. You know what I'm saying? You chopping teams down from 90 players to 53. I mean, you got a whole bowl of players to pick from. Okay, and now you're gonna bring them in. Well, you're playing and you're getting ready for week 1. In the case of the Cowboys, that final cut day is going to be earlier than everybody else because we play on that Thursday night. And so you're waiting actually on for other teams to cut. And now you're talking about adding those guys in. Well, they're already in preparation for week 1. So those guys that you might get from the cut, they ain't going to be effective because they don't know the playbook, period. they'll be teaching what they've already been working through training camp. All that install. Unless you're a defensive tackle now, it's much more simpler because they're gonna say, okay, you plugging up the hole, you plugging up the A gap, you plugging up the B gap. Defensive tackle don't need a study hall to do their job. Not hard. Go straight up to the A gap. Take on the block. Hold them up. You just need to learn the language and all that type of stuff. Cornerback, that's different. You gotta learn the calls. You gotta learn all that, you gotta learn all that stuff. You gotta learn the checks. If they check out of it, do you know what the check is? It's different for cornerbacks. So I think in these next 2 to 3 weeks, I really believe that the final pieces for this season, as far as acquisitions go, I believe that that's about to happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks. When Kill says trade Diggs to the Jets for DT, Quinn Williams, I would take that in a heart flash. Let me cheer you on for that week. Take that quick, fast, in a hurry. And Aaron Glenn, the coach, depending on what Diggs is, he'll have a lot of questions. But the thought of having Diggs and Sauce on the other side as your quarterbacks, that would excite you. Let's be realistic. Diggs on one side and Sauce on the other. Oh my. Oh my. If Diggs is anything, you would be excited. I like that trade. I don't think they would go for it though, because I don't think they value Diggs like that no more. Word travels. Diggs might be a little bit too injury prone now for teams. All right, y'all. I'm done. Appreciate y'all, man. If you haven't subscribed to the Big Time Show, do that now from wherever you're watching. If you're on YouTube, just hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Hit that bell and click on all. You won't miss me as far as when I come on live. If you're on Facebook, simply follow the Big Time Show, like it, and turn the notifications on for that. You got it. If you're on Twitter, you also can follow me there. You'll like me there, and you can do that. Some of y'all don't know my Twitter handle. Y'all do not. It's simple. Man, y'all ought to do that. Matter of fact, everybody in here, if you don't follow me I'm live there right now. Let me put it in, because a lot of y'all don't know it. Just thought about it. Let me put that in here. Should I do this? No, I ain't gonna do that, because I know I ain't done the call-in line in a while. I need to. But I done talked too long today. So so that's enough. Let me put my Twitter handle in for those that do not know. What am I doing? Y'all give me a second here. I appreciate everybody that's hanging with you, boy. As I said before, I'm out of school now. My last day was Friday. So I will be with you guys a whole lot more than what I've been. I'll try to come on in the mornings as well as keep my regular time. I will try to do that. So you're going to see a whole lot more of me. There it is right there on the screen, y'all. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can. Right there, it's at Big Time Lou, L-O-U. Go to Twitter, find me there. You'll see the Big Time Show, whatever. But that is my Twitter handle. I'm there live. You may not want to watch me from wherever you watch. You can watch me live there. You can comment there. Same things. Nothing's changed. You can watch me there, and then we'll be good to go. All right. So follow me there if you have not done it. If you have not followed me on Twitter, I would appreciate if you guys would do that. Next time, I guess I need to come on TikTok. I'm missing TikTok, y'all, because y'all remember when President Trump had all this stuff and they lifted the requirements for you to go live there. Um, um, I only have probably about 200-300 people. You need 1,000 to go live on TikTok. But for those moments that I was on TikTok, man, I was averaging almost 4 at one point in time. At least almost 100 people would chime in. I don't know if it'd be there at the same time, but in the midst of the show, I would have over 100 people watching. For me, that's big. So in one spot, I need to hurry up and get back on TikTok. So I guess the next show, I'll just show you everywhere where I am. I really need you guys to. Oh, that's where I am at TikTok. Same thing, y'all. I'm sorry. There it is. TikTok at Big Time Lou. It's simple. At Big Time Lou. Go follow me there now. That will help your boy out as I try to get to 1,000 so I can be live on TikTok as well. That's huge for viewership and everything else. So I hope you guys will help me on that point. At Big Time Lou, that is for both Twitter and TikTok. At Big Time Lou. Follow me there. And it would be great. Jay Bryan, I see you comment. You say Jair Alexander. I said that earlier. My fraternity brother. Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I just had to throw that in. Let me do that too. Yeah, okay. Y'all don't know about that. But anyway, I would love to have Jai here. No question. Will fit right in. Perfect. Then you say Travis NTN. That would be a great fit here as well. Another running back. I agree. All right. Y'all got that at Big Time Lou. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, do that for me now. Appreciate you. I'm not familiar with the family, the gentleman that came in, Jason Brewer. Jason, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Appreciate your contribution to the chat. You look like you know football. You don't have to be a Cowboy fan at all. It sounds like you know a little football. Would appreciate it if you come hang with me some more. So if you haven't subscribed, do that for me. I would appreciate it. We can hang out together. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for hanging with me. I'm feeling Ric Flairish right now. I feel like the Undertaker. So y'all know what that means. It seems like I have to make an entry or an exit. So y'all know what's going to happen, right? The music is about to happen. And I'm about to make my entry. I wish I could find a way I could rise up through the floor, like this real slow. That'll be rough. Or blend in, disappearing like I got magic in me or something. I can make that happen though. Y'all forgive me. Let me play right quick. Nah, I ain't gonna play. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all take it easy. I will see y'all. Turn on live notifications on. I might be with you Monday morning. All right. I got my summer hours, man. I can come on 3-4 times a day now. Coach Marv, y'all subscribe to him yet? My brother, Coach Marv, in the building. We finally probably need to do a show together, Coach. I don't know if you had him for guests yet or whatever. Coach Marv, I guess I'm kind of the same way. But I've had guests. Coach Marv is so knowledgeable, man. If y'all subscribe to him yet, you need to. So y'all see it in the chat, right? Let me highlight him real quick. Everybody love Coach Marv. Bye, Auntie. My auntie done stayed with me for a long time. Hey, Auntie Evelyn. Thank you. See you later. Coach Marv Real Talk is the name of the show on YouTube. As you can see it there, Coach Marv Real Talk. Listen, if you have not subscribed to him, go do that. You know, Coach Marv is incredibly knowledgeable, as I said. You'll love his show as well, all right? Appreciate y'all. I'm out. Let's get ready to get out of here, man. We out of here. Y'all take it easy. This has been the one and the only that the smoke is. Woo! The big time show.